Good evening and welcome to this Wednesday, May 19th edition of EastCast. I'm Tracy Denton here with my co-anchor Jeff Pollack to bring you the news of the week. This week is AIDS Awareness Week here at East, and the AIDS Awareness Club at East has been preparing for months. The club is set up into committees. There's a pamphlet committee headed by Jen Clear, Sarah Larson, and Amy Cutler, a publicity committee headed by Heidi Brenner and Amy Sitnick, and a ribbons committee headed by Mandy Strauss. The Interact Club has been working with the AIDS Awareness Club on the ribbon project. The ribbons, which symbolize an individual's dedication to fight AIDS, are being sold in the cafeteria this week for 25 cents apiece. Also in the cafeteria is a huge map of New Jersey showing the number of HIV-positive patients in each county. Pamphlets about AIDS are being distributed this week in homeroom also. This morning there was an assembly about AIDS featuring two speakers. Andrew, a full-blown AIDS patient who has spoken to our family living classes, and another speaker named Allison. Senior Jen Clear, who heads the pamphlet committee, said, AIDS awareness is something we've been working hard for. We'll be happy if just one person realizes that AIDS doesn't discriminate, and anyone can get it. The AIDS Awareness Club has about 20 members and is headed by faculty advisor Mrs. Joan Salzer. The club is also looking into selling a t-shirt with the theme that AIDS doesn't discriminate. And next year, the club will be setting up a hotline manned by students answering calls from people eager to find out more about AIDS. East's annual Mayor's Conference will take place tomorrow. Every year, students from high schools around South Jersey gather to discuss issues and present their solutions to town mayors. 15 people from East will be participating. The planning committee is made up of Tricia Relosa, Danielle Nottingham, Michael Lustbader, and Ben Newlander. Two speakers will present viewpoints on the subject of multiculturalism. Students will then form groups to discuss the issue and come up with ways to solve racial tension. The groups will then present their plans to the mayors. Senior Trish Relosa, who has been participating in the mayor's conference since she was a freshman, says, quote, it's a great way for students to get their point across to the mayors, unquote. Junior Ben Newlander added, quote, it's good that students can express their ideas about a problem to someone who can actually do something about it, unquote. The mayor's conference is just another one of the many ways East students are taking an active role in local government.
Last Thursday night, East renowned singing groups put on their annual spring concert in the auditorium. The 6 groups, East Singers, Chansons, Vocal Workshop, Bells, Madrigals, and Orchestra, have been preparing since January every day. Senior Eric Salzman of Vocal Workshop said, quote, the concert was excellently prepared by vocal director Mrs. Lisa Wilson, and I am impressed with her talents. Freshman Jamie Lustbader, who also sang in the concert, said, quote, having a spring concert is a good way to showcase all the hard work we put in this year. It was interesting to see all the other music groups pursuing their goal of achieving excellence. East music groups will be leaving tomorrow for Toronto, Canada, where they will spend Friday and the weekend playing in music competitions. Afterwards, they will be visiting Niagara Falls. It was questionable whether or not the trip would take place at all, but since Mr. Yurko took over the band 2 weeks ago, all the players have been inspired by the newfound enthusiasm he has produced. Senior Greg Reintraub says of the upcoming trip, quote, it's a good opportunity for all musicians to show off all the hard work they've put into their music this year.
This just in, Cherry Hill East Spring Band Concert will start in about 20 minutes. Concert band, symphonic band, and wind ensemble will be performing in the auditorium here at East. The bands will play songs such as Gavorkna Fanfare, Children's March, Postcard, and the Overture from the Barber of Seville. Junior Bill Scott says, quote, the music is really challenging. We will try our best to make our performance reflect the 4 months of hard work we have put into this concert, unquote. That's 7:30 tonight, Cherry Hill East Auditorium. If you hurry, you can make it.
Congratulations to the following students who have been selected to attend the Girls State Convention at the end of June at Rider College. Ashley Baker, Jen Lamena, Sandra Lee, Renu Sayal, Prati Vardhana, and Jody Varon. And also congratulations to the alternates, Julie Leonard, Lindsay Lickman, Laura Liu, Rachel Rednick, and Elena Sakar.
This week's SAT word of the week is fractitiousness. It's a noun and it means rebelliousness or unruliness. The annual physics trip will take place tomorrow. Physics students from all levels will go to Great Adventure and study the different rides. This is a yearly endeavor for the entire state. Physics students from other schools will be joining East students. They will all form groups and record things such as velocity and gravity and turn the data into their professors as a lab report. Senior Dimitri Schneiberg of Physics 2AP says, quote, Physics Day at Great Adventure is an opportunity for students of New Jersey's theoretically based physics classes to enforce the theories with fun, practical application, unquote. We hope that all the physics students will obey their chaperones and there will be no fractitiousness.
Jello Wrestling will take place in the DeBart Gym for the first time in 5 years this Monday night, May 24th at 7 p.m. The featured event will be a teacher competition with Mr. Belchkov, Mr. Mustamecki, and Mr. Steele on one team, and Mr. Lever, Mr. Zeff, and Mr. Bo Wood on the other team. Students will also be competing. Tickets are on sale in the cafeteria this week and at the door. So come on out this Monday night and support Project Graduation. Friday night, Mr. Steele and Mr. Cole performed in concert in East Auditorium. In the words of Mr. Steele himself, quote, "Nobody came, but we were great." Unfortunately, due to bad timing, only 50 people attended the concert compared to last year's 400. Mr. Steele and Mr. Cole played songs by Neil Young, the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, and Eric Clapton. Mr. Cole said, quote, "We had a great time. The kids really danced their heads off." The money went towards completing the tennis pavilion. Hopefully next year, more people will realize what great fun the Cole Steele concert can be.
And now, to keep you updated on all the sports going on at East this week, here's EastCast's Andrew DeChristopher.
The spring sports season is trickling to an end, but the Cougar tennis team continues to march on. The team, which is ranked number 1 in South Jersey and number 2 in the state, remained unbeaten against South Jersey opponents with easy 5-0 victories over Highland and Cherry Hill West. The team improved its record to 15-1 overall, with its only loss coming at the hands of Newark Academy, the number 1 team in the state. In other sports, neither the East baseball or softball team will be seeing postseason action this year after disappointing seasons, but both teams are looking to finish their seasons on a high note. Both teams were fairly successful as the baseball team took 2 out of 3 by beating Lenape and Highland. Their only loss came at the hands of Triton. Meanwhile, the softball team improved their record to 9-6 with wins over Highland and a 10-4 triumph over crosstown rival West. In lacrosse, the girls team ended their regular season on a low note. The team lost their last 2 games against Willingboro and Rancocas Valley. The team did, however, rebound in time for the state playoffs, where they beat Englewood in the first round. That's all for sports. Now back to Jeff.
That's it for the news tonight. Special thanks to cameraman and editor, Mr. Gordon Hampson, advisor, Mr. Keith Haynes, and to Tim Brady and Tracy A. Denton, our student camera people. Thank you for joining my co-anchor, Tracy Denton, Andrew DeChristopher, and me, Jeff Pollock, this evening. Stay tuned following the junior high news for Eric Salzman's special AIDS awareness interview with AIDS lecturer Andrew Ross, who spoke to the East students this morning. And following that is East-West softball. Tonight we'll leave you with Ophelia wearing her AIDS awareness ribbons in support of the fight against AIDS. Good night, Ophelia.
Bark, bark.
Good evening and welcome to the West Report. I'm Genevieve Garrido.
And I'm Debbie Wickus. The Cherry Hill West Music Department traveled to Toronto, Canada on May 13th to participate in the Heritage Festival. The choral and instrumental groups did very well against the 7 other high schools who participated. 8 out of the 12 West groups received first place with the gold. These groups were West Singers, Chamber Singers, Men of Note, String Quartet, Wind Ensemble, Jazz Ensemble, Marching Band, and Amethyst Indoor Color Guard. The other 4 groups, Chanson, Vocal Workshop, String, and Full Orchestra, received second with the silver. The String Quartet won the highest award of all the musical groups participating in the festival. Both the instrumental and choral groups received the overall best in the competition. As well as competing over the weekend, the students also had fun seeing the sights of Canada, some of them being the Ontario Science Centre, Canada's Wonderland, Casa Loma, and the ever-so-beautiful Niagara Falls. The group returned from Canada early Monday. Junior Diane Cody expressed her feelings about the trip by saying, "It was a long ride, but the successful competition and the time with our friend made it all worth it."
Multicultural Activities, a subcommittee of the Human Relations Committee of the Cherry Hill Public Schools and the Cherry Hill Township sponsored an international street fair called the Kaleidoscope of Cultures last Sunday, May 16, at Barclay Farmstead. There were shows performed by students from Sharp and Cooper schools. Other groups include Carusi Junior School's jazz group, Beck Middle School's Music Around the World, the Asian Culture Club, Nature Defense Club, the West African American Club, and East's Madrigals, Bells, and Mimes. Some exhibits include West's Chess Club, Horace Mann School's International Table, and East's Adopt a Grandparent Group. Food and entertainment helped create the celebration of Cherry Hill's diversity of cultures a great day.
West Band Concert was held last Tuesday, May 11th, in the auditorium. The concert band, directed by Mr. Goldman, started off at 7:30 with the performance of an American spiritual, Blue Ridge, Saga, Fantasy on American Sailing Songs, and Covenant. Then the Wind Ensemble, under the direction of Mr. Yurko, performed Cakewalk from a suite of old American dances and Hobbits from Johann de Mead's Lord of the Rings. Before the final number, Mr. Yurko presented John Philip Sousa Award to Jim Nicholson and Ann eBay for their excellent musicianship. After the Wind Ensemble performed, the musicians and audience were invited to a reception in the cafeteria sponsored by the Music Boosters. This concert will be an upcoming Cable 18 special. Watch for it. And here's Dave Marika with this week's sports.
The West varsity baseball team began last week with a shocking 4-1 loss to Eastern. The Lions got back on track, though, as they beat Edgewood 7-5 in 9 innings. John Pearson ripped a 3-run home run with 1 out in the bottom of the 9th to give West the victory. Then, on Saturday, in the opening round of the Diamond Classic, the boys beat Shawnee 8-5 to advance to the second round of the tourney. Pearson was the winning pitcher in that contest, and Jeremy Sunkett, Brian Bianco, and Mike Fulcher all came up big offensively. Last Monday, the team advanced to the second round of the state tournament by beating Edgewood 13-0. This week, the team has a full week with a state tournament game against Edgewood on Thursday, 2 Olympic Conference games versus Highland and Washington Township respectively, and a Diamond Classic game against Washington Township on Saturday. The softball team lost 4 games last week, to Eastern 11-1, to Edgewood 13-2, to Washington Township 8-4, and to Cherry Hill East 10-4. Kristen Lysak, Joanna Elias, and Tracy Shannon each had extra base hits for West last week. The girls play Overbrook, Highland, and Haddonfield this week. The 9th-ranked West tennis team had a solid week with 2 wins and 2 losses. The Lions began with a 3-2 loss to Eastern, followed by a 3-2 victory over Moorestown Friends. Then the team beat Cherokee 4-1 in the first round of the South Jersey Group 4 State Championship. On Friday, West lost to East 4-1. The doubles team of Gary Bergman and Teddy DeGuzman had another good week with 3 wins and a loss in match play. The team plays Overbrook and Highland in a divisional play, and then in the second round of the state tourney this week. The lacrosse team had a 16-7 win over Pennsauken last week. Hayon Reese scored 4 goals, and Kellen Thorpe added a hat trick. The Lady Lions finished their season against Moorestown this week. The boys track team lost to Overbrook 75-55 last week. DC Braswell won the 100 and 200-meter run, plus the high jump in this meet. Also on Thursday, the team participated in the Olympic Conference tournament. Dave Suska took second in the 3,200-meter run with a time of 9 minutes and 55 seconds. Also, Darryl Braswell took third in the high jump by clearing 5'10". The Lions raced Washington Township this week. On the other hand, the girls track team defeated Highland 65-57. Nina Moore and Dana Pilla each had double first places for the team. Moore won both the 100-meter dash and the long jump, and Pilla took the discus and the javelin. The girls finished their regular season at Washington Township this week. And finally, the golf team lost to Eastern and East last week, both by a score of 6-0. The team finishes off its season against Overbrook and Highland this week. And just a reminder, after both the East and West report, stay tuned for the East-West varsity softball game. Thanks a lot. That's all the sports. I'll catch you next week.
Neighbors United, a cooperative program between Cherry Hill West and Camden High School students, is well underway. Every Saturday morning, volunteers, students, teachers, and parents help rehabilitate homes, renovate daycare centers, clean up playgrounds, and beautify surrounding areas in Camden. Students from both West and Camden High Schools experience out-of-class learning, such as interacting with fellow students, while helping others as well. If you'd like to volunteer, please see Mr. Lorenzetti for more information. Jonathan Rosen of the freshman class government, along with our advisor, Mr. Roman, started the freshman food drive over a month ago. Food and money collected by the class of '96 will be donated to Levin House, a cooperative food kitchen in Camden. The first set of boxes of canned goods and money will be delivered to Levin House this coming Friday, May 21st. This food drive, sponsored by the freshman class government, will continue throughout the year, serving hot meals to needy people every day. Drop off any money or canned products at D22 and help bring smiles to everyone at Levin House. And for more reasons to celebrate, here's our very own Brian Connors.
Are you an American or a naturalized citizen? Are you proud to live in the United States? Do the patriotic juices of living free flow through your veins? Okay, I bet you're saying, Brian, it isn't the 4th of July. Well, you're right. Today's Wednesday, May 19th. Today is I Am an American Day. Many communities have adopted this celebration enthusiastically, variously employing pageantry, music, dancing, and speeches of welcome to emphasize the importance and significance of this great occasion. Great cities like Boston, Seattle, New York, San Diego, Philadelphia, Chicago, Cincinnati, Cleveland, Miami, and other great towns like Hanover, Pennsylvania, all hold I Am an American celebrations. What a great way to remember our country and take pride in being a citizen, even if it isn't the 4th of July. This is Brian Connors with this week's Reason to Celebrate. I hope everybody has a happy I Am an American Day.
On Friday, May 21st, Your Choice, performed by the Quiet Riot Comedy Theater, will be seen by juniors and seniors. We'll have more on the Quiet Riot on next week's news. This year's annual Pavis Festival will be held on May 28th, all day long. The program will feature different performing groups, artworks, and other creative items. All seniors are reminded to attend the Senior Parent-Student Meeting in the auditorium on May 19th at 7:30. The information of this meeting is necessary for all seniors. Therefore, all representatives from each senior family must be in attendance. And if you're not there already and you're watching this broadcast, you better get moving.
Yesterday, Laura Guten and Majid Mohuddin, winners of the New Jersey Young Playwrights Festival, had the chance to see their plays performed by professional actors and to participate in workshops for playwrights at the New Jersey State Theater in New Brunswick. Out of the 225 entries submitted to the contest, a panel of judges selected 4 winning plays, 2 of which are from Cherry Hill West. Congratulations to Laura, Maj, and their teacher, Mrs. Della Williams. That's it for tonight's West Report. Thanks for watching, and please stay tuned for the varsity softball game afterwards. Good night.
Good night.
Hello, and welcome to Carusi News. I'm Michelle Hart. On Friday, the Carusi Show Choir staged HMS Pinafore. Here's Diane Zabakowski with the details.
Thanks, Michelle. Last Friday, May 14th, the Carusi Show Choir performed HMS Pinafore in the Cherry Hill West Auditorium. The play started at 7:30 and lasted about an hour. All the members of the cast put forth their greatest effort to make the play a success. Soloists and the rest of the crew did very well and were happy with their performance. We'd like to thank Mr. Trimble and Mr. Kellifer for sticking it out to the end so Carusi could once again perform an outstanding play. Back to you, Michelle.
Our annual spring concert will be held on Wednesday, June 2nd at 7:30 in the Carusi Gym. Dress rehearsal will be that day also. More details will be forthcoming. On Monday, June 21st, the 8th grade will visit the New Jersey State Aquarium in Camden. This trip is being sponsored by the Carusi Science Department and will be self-funded. The cost of the trip is $7 for each student. This includes transportation as well as admission costs. This money will be collected in science class sometime in May. Any student who does not wish to go on the field trip will attend class at Carusi. 8th graders will report to school at regular time and follow a normal schedule until our departure at approximately 9:30. When students return from the aquarium, they will eat lunch and receive their yearbooks. The yearbook signing party will follow from 2 to 3 o'clock. On Wednesday, June 2nd, an envelope containing the following: 2 tickets, a letter to parents, and transportation form will be delivered to 8th grade homeroom teachers. These envelopes will be distributed to the students during homeroom on Thursday, June 3rd. These are for the graduation tickets. 7th grade student council elections have been going on during the past week. Here's a read with the story.
Thanks, Michelle. The 7th graders are campaigning for next year's student council officers. On Thursday, May 13th, the primary results were announced. The candidates for president are Melissa Heber, Jessica Vernon, Brian Adolph, and Charles Floyd. The candidates for vice president are Anthony DePaul, Heather Zanzinger, and Micah Spector. For secretary, Erica Sweezy and Kate Mulford. And for treasurer, Sarah Dunworth, Allegra Cohen, and Josh Leonardi. The candidates will give their speeches tomorrow during enrichment, and then all the 7th graders will go back to homeroom to vote. Good luck to all 12 candidates. Now back to you, Michelle.
Thanks, Marie. Now here's Dave Lazowski with sports.
Thanks, Michelle. Carusi Spring Sports are continuing their season. The 7th grade softball is Lindsay Waterman.
Thanks, Dave. The 7th grade softball team resumed their winning streak on Wednesday the 12th. A job well done on the pitching mound by Joy Alexander and Katie Rodenbeck. Congratulations go to Jessica Vernon, giving the team a 2-run homer, and Allison Reynolds had a home run as well. Mary Doherty made it quick plays behind the plate. The final score was Carusi 11 and Riverside 2. The girls ended their season yesterday, and we'll have the results for you next week. Back to you, Dave.
Thanks, Lindsay. Now Michelle Harp with 8th grade softball.
Thanks, Dave. On Wednesday, May 12th, the 8th grade girls softball team played Delran. They lost 3-10. Even though there was strong offense and defensive plays, the Lady Mustangs couldn't manage a comeback. On Friday, May 14th, the girls went up against Delran again. The team fought back from a 5-0 deficit behind the pitching of Allison Stoner. The rally fell short, and the girls should be commended for their excellent sportsmanship when some bad calls were made. The final score was 10-8. On Monday, the girls went against Riverside. They came back in the 3rd inning from a 6-0 score. They held a tie for most of the game, and in the end, the Ladies Mustangs pulled off a 16-11 victory over Riverside. The girls' record now stands at 2 wins and 4 losses, but they are planning to change it soon. Good luck to the girls as they continue their season. Back to you, Dave.
Thanks, Michelle. Now 7th grade baseball with Mark Scepter.
Last Tuesday, the 7th grade baseball team suffered a hard loss to Marlton Middle School, 5-2. The game was evenly played up until the 6th inning when a couple of walks and 2 seeing eye singles did the Mustangs in. Then on Thursday, the team lost a close game to Delran by a score of 2-1. Even though Carusi lost its last 2 games, Coach Mr. Klein says the team has improved since the beginning of the season. The team's final game of the season was played yesterday against Marlton, and we will have the results for you next week.
Thanks, Mark. Here's Dave Zockel with 8th grade baseball.
The 8th grade baseball team extended its winning streak to 8 straight games by defeating Morristown by the score of 5-2 last Friday. On Monday, the team defeated Riverside by a huge margin. This extended their winning streak to 9 straight games. Their record so far is 9-2. Now back to you, Dave.
Thanks, Dave. Now an update in track with Leslie Ryan.
Thanks, Dave. Carusi's track team is continuing to do well this season with a record of 5 wins and 3 losses. Last Thursday, the track team defeated Gloucester with a score of 151-98. The team lost to Pennsauken on Monday with a score of 141-109, despite good efforts by everyone on the team. Good luck to them with the rest of their season. Now back to you, Dave.
Thanks, Leslie. Good luck to all the teams as they complete their seasons. Now back to Michelle.
Thanks, Dave. We would like to thank Mr. Hampson, our cameraman, and Mr. Gertz, our advisor. Thanks for joining us, and good night.
all the nighttime into the day. Do the song about the sweet love of the moon. And do the song about the night. You do the walk all night. Yeah, you do the walk all night.
Good evening, and welcome to this week's edition of the Beck School News. I am Frank Samuda, Beck Student Council Vice President, and tonight I will anchor this program. The spring concert is fast approaching. The Student Council election packets are now available for those interested in running for office, and the farewell dance plans take shape. But Beck's big story is Mr. Rubin's social studies projects. Mr. Rubin, an 8th grade teacher, had his social studies classes bring in their projects last week. The projects were displayed in the IMC, where students had an opportunity to see them and vote for their favorites. Topics ranged from baseball to historical events. Congratulations to all who participated in Mr. Rubin's contest. Mr. DiCarlo invited Mr. Bookbinder to speak to his science class. The subject was science and technology. Let's look in on the presentation.
3 years to develop this detector. It's a very special detector, the way it operates, special type flow cell. I won't get into it, but it's quite an advanced design that only we manufacture this type of detector doing it in this exact way. So after all the patents were filed and all that, it was upwards of $4 million that went into research and development. That's a big investment over time to recoup, to gain, and then end up making some kind of a profit. This detector itself runs about $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, depending on which version.
Last Sunday was the Cultural Awareness Day here in Cherry Hill. The event culminated at Barclay Farmstead. Here are a few events that led up to Sunday's activity.
So more so it's been such a big We're still on the box right over there with that orange sticking out. Yeah.
Well, good night, folks. We're running out of time.
This concludes tonight's Beck School Report. This has been Vice President Frank Samuda reporting. Good night, and thanks for watching.
Hello, I'm Eric Salzman, and joining me right now is Andrew Ross Eber, a graduate of Cherry Hill East from the class of '82. Andrew is a full-blown AIDS patient, and he's joining us today in order to speak about AIDS and help educate us. The first thing I'd like to do is to shake hands. Thank you. Because hopefully one of the things we'll be able to prove today is that there's absolutely no danger in touching a person with the AIDS virus. You cannot get AIDS from touching a person with AIDS. Definitely. In fact, aren't you in more danger from me than I am from you right now?
Oh, definitely. I mean, you have nothing to worry about. I'm the one that has to fear. You only get this virus if you have sex, you share needles, if you get it from, say, that the mother can give it to her baby, or from a blood transfusion. Now, we're not going to do any of those things today, so you don't have to worry. But you might have an infection like strep throat that you could be carrying right now, be healthy enough never to get it, but I could pick it up with a weakened immune system. So the fear will always be to the person with this virus.
I'd assume that because you have AIDS, you come in contact with other people in the same situation, which means that you're constantly surrounded by death, people you meet, friends you make. How do you deal with new friends dying all the time?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I mean, being a long-term survivor of 6 years, I stopped counting people I knew who died of AIDS when I reached 40. That was 5 years ago. We just had, the Christmas holidays, and from 2 weeks before Christmas to a week after New Year's, 6 people I knew died. All of them were in their 20s. One of them was a suicide. And it's hard because you're constantly grieving. But I don't want their deaths to be in vain. So I go out and I talk about them, and that keeps them alive in my mind. And maybe it will stop someone else from getting this virus.
Are there any sort of things that an everyday person like myself or you before you got HIV take for granted that you find you can't do anymore?
You name it. I mean, it would have to be everything. I used to do a lot of biking. I've not been on a bike since. Everything is changed or different. There are things I'll never do again. I mean, I've spent the past 6 years of my life putting all of my energy into staying alive. I mean, there are many other things I want to do, but I don't have the energy to do them. I'm too tired, or I don't feel well enough. Or all my money's got to go to my health care, so you don't have money left over to do anything else. But nothing is the same. I mean, I have to be careful of, like, it's really not advisable to even like to go to the Jersey Shore and go into the ocean. Just because there are so many things in the ocean, and it is to some degree polluted, that wouldn't affect you, that could severely affect me. So there goes your fun at the beach.
A lot of people will look at you and say, there's nothing wrong with you. You look perfectly healthy. You look very healthy to me. Why is that? Why is it that you look fine if there's so much going wrong inside of you?
Most people with AIDS look like me. We don't look that sick. I mean, everyone feels if someone has AIDS and they walk in, I'm going to know they're going to have 3 nurses behind them, be hooked up to IVs, but we're not. You know, I mean, I spent 3 years where I was with a cane and I was 85 pounds, and I definitely looked like a person with AIDS. But you can't always tell by looking. Everybody that's HIV positive looks like everybody else because they don't have any signs or symptoms yet. We'll never know why I've survived this long, or why, as I call it, like the outer shell's held up. We'll never know that. That's just the way it's been.
Do you have any hope for a cure?
Personally, no. We've never cured a virus before. In the whole history of medicine, we've never cured one, not even once. I mean, if we had cured one just once, I'd have faith, but we haven't. Like, we don't have a polio cure, we have a polio vaccine. I think there's a great hope for a vaccine. The problem is, all the estimates are saying at least 10 or 11 more years till that vaccine. Now, that's going to be an incredibly great day. But the big problem with that is it won't help you if you're already HIV positive. It will keep the people who don't have it from getting it. I mean, that's what I try to tell all our young people. You've all got a decade. You got to stay HIV negative till the vaccine comes out, so then you don't have to worry.
Before we wrap up, are there any other phone numbers or statistics or any other messages at all that you want people to be aware of?
The things that are important is that if you have questions, please get the answers. Either call 342-AIDS, that's the local hotline and HIV testing. Or you can call the AIDS Coalition of Southern New Jersey at 854-7578. Find an adult to talk to. Talk to a teacher. Talk to an older sibling. If you have questions, find the answers.
Andrew, thank you very much for coming.
You're welcome.
You the best.
No problem. Thank you.
And this has been Eric Salzman with a special Cable 18 edition.